We out here. What's up, everybody? Kit, the most ride or die of the ride or dies. Oh, Rihanna, thanks for stopping by, and best of luck on your exam tomorrow. Hey, Shelly. Hey, everybody. So we got quite a lot of stuff to talk about today, huh? I'm still going to try to keep it around an hour, if not shorter, because I don't want to be wasting y'all's time too much. But, oh my God, if y'all were hanging out yesterday for that impromptu live stream, that live stream had more views than like a regular video generally gets to me. I left it up for a little while after just for people who might not have gotten a notification or whatever that I was going live, that sort of thing. And maybe what I'll do is if you weren't able to make it and you're watching this, I know like you're one of the real ones if you actually show up for a live stream. There goes Ray Ray. If you show up for one of my live streams, I know you're a real one. And if you missed it, I'm considering putting the video up unlisted for like 2 hours today after this live stream is over for those of you who miss it. So let's talk about that a little bit. And if I do that, I'll just put the link to the unlisted video in the description box under this live stream. But hopefully this live stream will be able to stay up because I am drinking my kombucha again. Thank you, soybeans. Sean Treese. Yeah, the tea was hot last night. Literally, this tea was hot last night because it's just the same old thing over and over with these racists getting caught being racist. Anyway, first off, I want to thank Sam Quincy, by the way, for the super chat yesterday. I've never received a super chat, so thank you to Sam. I don't know if you're watching again today, but unfortunately, I didn't see that you had super chatted me in the transcript because I was so busy rambling. So shout out to you and thank you. And let's move on to the Protect Your Ends Challenge. Ray Ray, you know you're not allowed in the kitchen. Look at you looking guilty as hell. This dog. Anyway, okay. So let's see. Protect Your Ends Challenge, that wrapped up April 15th. So this wrap up of the challenge is hella late. My bad on that. But it was pretty good for me. The problem was I had the setback of taking down those passion twists, and I had to do a little bit of trimming after that. So I feel like I didn't really have like significant gains in length retention or anything like that, but I think it was mostly good for me to get out of what was becoming a habit of relying on my thermal brush a little bit too frequently. Now I'm going to limit myself to using that probably every other month rather than once a month, which is what I had been doing. And it helped me get realigned with looking after my hair without using any direct heat, which is what I've been doing the majority of this quest to try to grow my hair long. So it was good to get back to basics and just be smarter about my hair care instead of relying on crutches like heat stretching tools. So I think it was definitely good for me to do. I have not really tugged on my hair to see where my length is hitting, but right now I'd estimate that I'm probably at the bottom of my bra strap, just about, at least in the longest sections, because some of you guys know this side of my head used to be shaved. It'll be 3 years growing it out this summer, I want to say. So that's probably a little bit shorter, but the rest I've kind of been trimming to even everything out over time. But yeah, Protective Style Challenge was good for me, except for those passion twists. And I definitely would say that doing the Apogee treatment after that was a big help because it definitely curbed my breakage a lot. And I feel like I'll be set on my protein moisture balance for a good while before I need to do any major protein treatment again anytime soon. Okay, so how did you guys do? Thank you, Ao. Shelly, you got a lot of length. That's dope. Yeah, I'm not good at being consistent with checking my length because I just don't really worry about it, I guess. I just look after my hair the best that I can and leave it alone. And then I'm like, oh, I made this length or I made that length. I don't really do length checks on any particular schedule or even at all, really. It's more when I'm just doing my wash day that I'll notice that I've been braiding or twisting a lot longer than I used to a few months ago because I got more inches to deal with, that sort of thing. Oh no, Kit, What was your setback? I remember how happy I saw you on IG. You were like, thank God this challenge is over. And I feel you on that. It's a challenge for a reason because even though I don't wear my hair down all that much, just the handcuffs of knowing, if I want to wear my hair out, I can only do that once this month. It makes you think a lot more. You lost 4 inches on one side. How? That's good, Eagles lover. I don't really think my behavior has changed much since the challenge either. I've mostly just been doing the same thing since the challenge ended. After all, it hasn't even been that long since it ended. It's been what, like 3 weeks or so? Yeah, it's May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way, if anyone is celebrating that. Out here, it's kind of a big deal in LA. People just use it as a reason to get wasted on margaritas all weekend. Yeah, Lydia, if you find a good routine, just if basic ass two-strand twists are what work for you, and that's more or less what I do too, because twisting is gentler and faster for me than braiding. So I just kind of, maybe braid the root a few stitches and then twist, and I'm good. And I'll either put my twists in a bun to just wear out and about, put on a turban. If I'm doing a video, I might throw in a wig. Every once in a while, I'll wear a wig in real life, but I don't wear them too much, mostly because I don't know. I just don't. But I do love my phony ponies, as you guys know. So sometimes I'll bun my twist and then just put like a phony puff or ponytail on top or something like that. And it's just really easy for me. It makes it easy when I do need to get at my hair if I need to take my twist down for wash day or whatever. Can't you brushed it dry? Oh no. That's a rookie mistake. Hey, why do you think your hair is tangling more than it used to? Are you using different products or a different technique or something? Hi, Mandy. I know. Then why'd you do it? Oh, my heart breaks. Sometimes you're just trying to do things quickly and you're like, maybe this time it'll be different. And then you're licking your wounds shortly after. That's good, Shuntrice. If you had more moisture retention. Yeah, I think my moisture retention was pretty good, but I think it's mostly because I just stuck to products that are tried and true. I haven't been doing that much experimenting with products on my day-to-day maintenance. I've just been playing around a little bit more on wash days, which you guys have seen because I've been doing videos, but day-to-day, I've been using my same old like Chemet, my DIY aloe spritz, stuff like that. I don't really fuck with anything new too much. Although I have been playing around with Jamaican black castor oil to seal my ends a bit more because I do love my Chemet for the ends, but I kind of use that as like my base layer on wash day. But throughout the week, if I need to reseal my ends, I just have been trying out castor oil and so far so good. I never used to like it because of how thick it is, but it's a nice in between of something as heavy as my Chemet products or a much lighter oil like coconut. Totally agree, Lydia. I love a bomb ass turban, a bold lip, and just some good hoops. I feel fly when I do that. Oh, Messy Natural. I realized after the fact that that's you, Geraldine. So, hey, girl, thanks for showing up. I should probably appoint a couple more moderators as well, just so you guys don't feel pressured to like not just enjoy the live stream yourselves as well. Ayo, if your ends look and feel fine, like you're not seeing that they look very weathered or there's not excessive tapering or single strand knotting or splitting, I don't know. Um, if they're tangling more than they used to, maybe it is just more inches, means more opportunities for tangles to form. Sometimes it could be as simple as that. But that's interesting. Like if it's like healthy and moisturized and everything, you would think that it would be a little bit more nice to you. You didn't miss much, Habib. We are actually just wrapping up our little catch up on how the Protective Style Challenge wrapped up. But yeah, I think we can move on. I feel like for the most part, It was a good experience for most of us. Maybe we'll do another one sometime soon. We can talk about that. But we have a lot to get to. So next up, I want to talk about, this is partially by request, but partially because it segues so perfectly into the other things I wanted to talk about. And that's Trisha Paytas, who is someone I've been aware of for many years, but is not someone who I've ever followed because she's an obvious professional troll. I only heard about her in this cornrow wig through a video by King of Reeds. If you guys don't know who King of Reeds is, you should definitely check him out. Him and Adrian Expression are both really, really insightful, thoughtful, and funny culture commentators. But basically, Trisha Paytas, let me see if I can actually add this to the chat in case you guys don't know who the fuck she is. And if you don't know who she is, congratulations. That is a link to her Twitter, whatever, her Twitter tweet, where she's wearing a whack-ass braided wig. It's a cornrow wig, and she's so face-tuned, she looks like she was drawn by Hanna-Barbera. But in any event, apparently this braided wig that she's wearing, I don't know why she's wearing it. It sparked a lot of outrage. Like, I refuse to put any of my energy into getting outraged over idiots. She does things to upset people. She is a troll. That is what she is. That's what she does. I mean, it looks ridiculous. Like, why am I going to get mad when she clowned herself type of thing? But her response about who knew a wig could be so controversial, laughing, crying emoji. Everyone needs to relax. There wasn't a sign on this wig, space, comma, space, that said Caucasians weren't allowed to buy it. Not surprised that she doesn't know how to use grammar and punctuation correctly either. Anyway, this is right in line with some of the things I was talking about in the now privated live stream from yesterday, where there are a lot of very entitled white people who want to fight for their ability to say the N-word, who want to fight for the ability to be culture vultures. I mean, this does not detract from my culture as a Black woman. She's clowning herself, so whatever. It's just interesting to me that they don't want us to have anything. Like, we can't even have our culture, you know? So she would rather argue about why there wasn't a sign on the wig saying no Caucasians, rather than actually listen to people who are from the culture that she is appropriating, essentially, with this ridiculous wig. Rather than listen to the people who might find that upsetting or irresponsible or just inappropriate, she wants to argue. And it is, like I was saying, the same exact argument of like, well, why can't I say nigger? Rappers say it. Because you can't. Please just respect that and let that be the end of the discussion. But that's impossible. They have to have everything. Oh, Alexis, you only heard of her because of the wig thing. Completely agree, Alexis. She did know what she was doing. Like, this is just another way to get people talking about her. I'm certainly not going to be putting her name in the title of this video or in the description or anything, because like, I don't want to even like help her out that much. But I do think it's worth talking about the larger cultural issue here, this dynamic of just constantly fighting with like, we literally can't have anything. We meaning Black people and our culture. Our culture is constantly being robbed. And then when we actually try to lay claim to things that are ours, we get like flack. We get pushback. Yeah, exactly, Maria. Cinco de Mayo is like, I don't even think people even understand what the actual historical event was, like warring with the French and everything. Like, I don't even think people know anything about that. They think it's about margaritas and tacos. Yeah, Lydia, Trisha Paytas has been, her entire career is based on trolling, from what I understand, because every time her name comes up, it's because like I watch Philip DeFranco, and he reports on news as well as news in the YouTube world, which I think is really smart because like that is germane to his audience and his own purview. And every time Trisha Paytas comes up, it's because of some bullshit like this. Like it'll be interesting to see how she continues to escalate and try to remain relevant as the years go by, because from what I understand, she literally is like flashing her coochie on her Patreon. So God knows what's next. Yep. Yeah, kind of. I completely agree. People love to get publicity based on outrage, and this is something we talked about yesterday. Just outrage marketing, which actually segues perfectly into the next topic because we're talking about professional trolls. So let's talk about Taylor Swift and this whole Mayo-Chella thing. I didn't see the Billboard Awards because I don't watch award shows generally, especially the music ones. I definitely never watch those. I have zero respect for award shows. They're always a sham. They always are on the wrong side of history, that sort of thing. So I had to actually look up this performance to be able to watch it, to do this live. And I have to say that was a long ass 4 minutes. That was a long 4 minutes of my life watching that performance from Taylor Swift. And I don't know if I have ever sat through any performance of any type, music or otherwise, and felt so clearly and viscerally, this is not intended for me. Like, I am so not her demographic, not her audience. I dead ass wanted to, like, when I was watching it, I was just like, I need to get out of here. And I was in my own apartment. Like, that's how I was like, this shit ain't for me. That's how I felt watching that. And yeah, Mayo-Chella, I think No-Chella was another name for it. I like calling it Bland-Chella because it was so unseasoned. It was tragic. It was the most tragically white performance I've ever seen in my life. And I hate to hate on her marching band, but shout out to them. They're just trying to work. That's probably a big break for them, in terms of getting gigs as musicians and things. But even her marching band had no seasoning whatsoever. It was so bland. And Taylor Swift is just, anyone from New York is going to know what I mean when I use this term, but she's a fucking herb. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not from New York or the tri-state area, you probably have never heard that term, and it's hard to describe what it is. But a herb is like, it's worse than a dork. It's worse than like a loser. She's just a fucking herb. There were some really great reads that I saw. Let me actually see if I can pull them up on my phone, because I tried not to look too much into the reactions I was seeing online because I wanted to have my own take. I didn't want to be too influenced by what other people were saying and that sort of thing. But there were some really, really good reads on this whole Mayo-Chella thing. Someone named at We Want Candy, and that's Candy with a K on Twitter, said, how can a person's pose be off beat? And it was, you probably won't be able to see this, and plus my phone is plugged in, but you can kind of see there's like Taylor Swift, like it's a side-by-side of Taylor Swift and Beyonce. And it just looks so sad how fucking whack Taylor Swift and uncomfortable Taylor Swift looks. And then I think a Twitter user named at Rain of April reposted what Bossip said. And this was maybe the greatest read of the past year that I've seen about any topic. Bossip said, Magachella, Beyonce tether Taylor Swift used the unseasoning stone and a marching bland to gentrify Beychella and got banished to the alabaster abyss. Oh my God. I screamed. When I saw that, I actually screamed. And then even The Onion, if you guys know the satirical newspaper, it used to actually be in print, I think, back in the day, but now it's just online. The Onion, they wrote, they did a post on Instagram where they photoshopped Taylor Swift holding twin babies in her stupid ass Billboard outfit. And it said Taylor Swift accused of ripping off Beyonce by giving birth to twins as part of Billboard Music Awards performance. I died. So, so good. Um, and yeah, I really did feel like it was the Disneyfication of Beychella or Beychella, however you want to say it. And the fact of the matter is, Taylor Swift is a troll. And this whole performance is more outrage marketing, just like we were talking about a minute ago. It's nothing more. And I'm just bored of it. Like, I think I refuse to put my energy into being outraged when I know we're being baited. I'm not falling for it. I do think it's kind of fun to key and talk about it, but I refuse to let them bait me with this outrage. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I need that energy to do my squats. Not today, Satan. And I couldn't think of anything more fitting than the song she performed. The song was called Me, capital M-E with an exclamation point, I think is how it's written. You can't make this shit up, folks. That is the most perfect song choice / song title for this entire situation, because everything has to be about Tay-Tay. Good God. Ayo, she can't even be a herb. That's too much seasoning. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, that pose was a struggle pose, man. Ooh, girl. Yeah. One pimp afro. Beyonce tether. I mean, I hollered when I saw that. Don't move. It's unsettling. Look, when you're right, you're right. Yeah, I'd never seen or I guess I'd never heard the song or seen her perform it anywhere else, because I've constructed my life in such a way that I'm rarely, if ever, exposed to Taylor Swift. I don't enjoy mediocrity, so why would I seek her out? And yeah, this too will blow over. No one's gonna care. She'll be fine. I mean, I don't think it was even 5 years ago when we first heard that Beyonce had just eclipsed Taylor Swift in net worth. This is less than 5 years ago that headline was going around. The idea that Taylor Swift ever had more money than Beyonce is a fucking joke. And it just speaks to the aggressive mediocrity that is allowed to fail upwards when you have white privilege. I can imagine Black Twitter went to town on her ass. But someone said this yesterday, like, the problem with Black Twitter dragging people, there are so many brilliant, funny, clever reads. This is still feeding into that machine of the outrage marketing. Like, this is what they want. Like, Black Twitter is essentially a PR firm for free. Her father bought her career, huh? I didn't even realize that that was anything to do with her history, but I'm not surprised at all. Okay, so I guess let's transition into Beyonce Homecoming. This was actually by request. One of you guys hit me up on Instagram after I did my Us discussion video and just kind of wanted to hear my take on Beyonce's Homecoming. And I have a lot of thoughts because I'm a very big Beyonce fan, but I'm definitely not like a Beyonce like beehiver. I'm not a stan. I just really enjoy a lot of her music. I'm fascinated by her as a cultural icon. I've definitely been interested to watch her career evolve and everything with that. So yeah, and obviously I just admire her. I mean, she is a once in a century kind of talent. You know, these Michael Jackson caliber stars come along only every few years. You know what I mean? So I've seen Beyonce in concert 4 times now. The last time I saw her was on the Formation tour, twice actually. I saw her on that tour because it was just so good. I also saw her on the Mrs. Carter World Tour. That was the first time. And then I saw her on the Run 1. I went the first time around. I didn't go to On the Run the second time because I found that the entire time Jay-Z was on stage at the first On the Run, I was just waiting for Beyonce to come back. So I didn't feel the need to spend that coin to do that again. When she goes on her next solo tour, I will almost certainly try to get tickets though. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I do think that we do need to call out bullshit when it's happening. I just feel very conflicted about the fact that by doing so, we're essentially helping them. You know, we're helping these people who are deliberately offending us, deliberately humiliating us, deliberately stealing from us by even giving them any attention, no matter how entertaining within our own community and how necessary it is to at least call out these things when they happen. It's, I feel like it's lose-lose, which is emblematic of the entire experience of being Black in America. Anyway, so with Beyonce, I feel like even before we talk about Homecoming, we should talk about Formation and her Super Bowl performance, which was also the announcement of the Formation tour, as a turning point in her career. You know, Formation, that song where she talks about, you know, Negro nose and all that. That was, I think, her first setting a tone as like, in case it wasn't clear, I am a Black woman. You know what I mean? I think there is this issue of proximity to whiteness having a direct relationship with being more desirable, more beautiful, ability to move throughout culture and have crossover appeal more readily. And Beyonce is a light-skinned woman. She's got, you know, light brown eyes or whatever, the blonde hair, all that. Interestingly enough, I do believe she has had things done to her nose. That's just my personal opinion based on how she looks in some of the older Destiny's Child videos. I think, I can't remember when it was, but I think it was around like the time of Single Ladies coming out. I went back and I watched like Bills or something, like something old from Destiny's Child, and her nose looked completely different. I was just like, oh, Beyonce's had a nose job. I don't know if anyone's going to come for me over that. That's just an observation I'm making as a person with eyeballs. So I thought that line about like the Negro nose, I don't know if that's more reference to Jay-Z because he gets a lot of, you know, negative attention for his appearance and his nose and stuff, or if that's a weird, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of an interesting line in that song. But the point is, Beyonce has a lot of check marks on the European beauty standard ideals in a lot of ways. But I think with Formation, it was her saying, listen, I am a Black woman, in case there were any questions about that, you know? Yeah, so then we move along to the Carters album, their Ape Shit music video where she and Jay-Z are in the Louvre. And I think the way I interpret that, it's almost like her and Jay-Z, more accurately her specifically, but her and Jay-Z, they are a massive power couple. They are as big as the Louvre itself. I mean, how many other stars realistically would even be able to get the Louvre to shut down for them to do a film shoot in there? That's crazy. She's a Michael Jackson level icon, and I don't really think there's that many stars, let alone Black stars, who would achieve that status. And then in that video, we're looking at Beyonce and Jay-Z looking at the Mona Lisa, arguably the most famous painting of all time, the most iconic, the most recognizable. There's a lot of people in Beyonce's audience who might not even know what the Louvre is, but they know who Beyonce and Jay-Z is. And I think that's a bit of a mindfuck in terms of just cultural importance as it transitions from generation to generation. Like how many of these beehivers who are 20 years old know the Louvre, really? I mean, I think we would be surprised how few do. and we're looking at Beyonce and Jay-Z looking at this super, super iconic painting because they are potentially as iconic as that painting and definitely more iconic to certain people in their audience. Like there's plenty of people out there who don't give a fuck about the Mona Lisa. They want to look at Beyonce looking at the Mona Lisa. And yeah, so Beyonce's beauty. I mean, she's got a lot of privileges, understandably, you know, light skin, blonde hair, the whole proximity to whiteness thing. Those are all privileges because we are operating, at least in America, we're operating in a culture that is very much rooted in white supremacy. So that has allowed her to get to this point. And I think it's really interesting that as she's achieved this status of being so iconic and influential and moneyed up, that she can pretty much do whatever she wants and still be able to get away with it. Now is when she's kind of turning up the volume on being very vocally pro-Black, which of course is very much being interpreted as being anti-white, which is not the case. Pro-Black doesn't mean anti-white, but that is how it's interpreted by a lot of white people, you know, because if they're not allowed to say the N-word or wear cornrows, then we're racist. Let me take a breath here and try to catch up here. Yeah, I missed who was just saying it. Terry Lane. Wait, okay, you were talking about call out. Yeah, Ayo. Okay, so you were saying that you agree she had a nose job. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. Lots of people do things to improve their appearance. I think that it's really awesome that she's been very strategic about, she's the most controlling person of her appearance I think that I've ever seen in show business, at least like in my lifetime, you know, that I've been aware of. And I think it's so interesting that she's played this long game of getting to this status, using her privileges to her advantage to now be in a point to say, you know what? I'm a Black woman and this shit is for us. Like, that's what I think Homecoming is really about. You know, Homecoming is blackety black, 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 black. And, you know, it was almost kind of funny to see so many Black people in her audience getting it. And then like at the actual performance in Coachella. And then, you know, I almost feel like some of the white people there might have felt a little bit left out. But I think that she's asserting, I am like, this shit, this whole thing that we've built, this is for us. Because no matter what her proximity is to whiteness with her appearance and her beauty and everything like that, she's still not a white woman. She's not Taylor Swift, you know, and she still hasn't fully enjoyed those advantages that and those privileges that an actual white woman would have. She's generally banished to the ghetto categories at the Grammys, which is another reason I don't have any respect for award shows. They put her in urban contemporary. Like, why is she not in R&B? Why is she not in pop? I mean, I don't know if this is always the case because, again, I don't follow the Grammys like that, but I have heard that this is like a consistent thing where, you know, Taylor Swift gets to be in the pop category and Beyonce doesn't. And it's just like, pop is short for popular. Okay. So regardless of the style of the particular song or album, who is more popular than Beyonce? It's just very strange to me. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to stay on track with my notes here because I don't want to keep you guys here all night. But it's, remember when Beyonce sang the national anthem at the Obama inauguration and she got busted lip syncing? And I didn't really think too much of that because I almost would have assumed that they would lip sync at such a high profile event and that kind of thing. But then she sang it again live somewhere else like a week later to kind of silence everyone. And then she ended it with any questions, just to be like, look, I can sing. This was out of my control for one reason or another. I wasn't able to sing live at the inauguration, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like Beyonce Homecoming is the Any Questions follow up to the message that she first put out there with Formation and that Super Bowl performance. It's like, in case we weren't clear, this is what I'm about. Um, and she's definitively saying that, you know, she's doing what she's doing for the culture, meaning for our culture as Black people. And she's saying to white people, like, listen, like, you can enjoy my music, you can enjoy the bops, but this isn't about you. This is about us. And she's in a position where she can actually do that. I think there's been a lot of Black artists who have come and gone, you know, who have achieved success. There's been very few as big as Beyonce, of course, but there have been some who have gotten up there and they haven't been seizing those opportunities in the same way to promote Black people and Black culture and have all of these dancers and band members of color, giving them exposure and opportunities that they might never ever otherwise get. And then to get this opportunity with someone as huge as Beyonce, that is life-changing for so many people. So I think that's just super dope. Yes, Kip. Popular has always, that is the subtext. Pop means popular for white people. Although Beyonce, because of her crossover appeal, has been very popular in white culture, but I mean, she's no Taylor Swift. Alexis, I think I actually kind of remember that sketch when SNL, I thought that was actually really smart when they were just like, oh my God, did you know that Beyonce's Black? Because I do think once you get that mainstream crossover appeal, it's almost like people kind of forget. And um, even when Blue Ivy was born, there were like memes going around of like what people thought Blue Ivy was going to look like. And it was like this biracial baby. And it's like, but Beyonce's Black and she's married to a Black man. How would she have a biracial child? Like, what are you talking about? Exactly, Alexis. Exactly. Like that is a life-changing credit for so many people to have been able to perform at Beyonce at the Homecoming Coachella performance. And I've only watched it once, not because I don't want to watch it again, but it is like emotionally taxing for me to watch. Like it's just so overwhelming. I actually got like the lump in my throat. Like I was getting emotional watching it a couple times. And the FOMO, that was the worst part because despite the fact that I've seen her live a few times, I feel like I missed such an important moment in Black culture by not being at Coachella that year. The FOMO is crippling. Yeah, Steph, solely Steph, people were horrendous to Blue Ivy. And I think even in Formation, I like my baby wearing baby hair and afro. Like that was her saying, leave my child alone. You know what I mean? I can't, I still can't believe some of the shit that people probably still say about her kids. She gave him the old switcheroo. That's right. In a lot of ways, that's true. It's just like, yeah, by the way, everything has been about me uplifting my own people. All this shit, all this coin, all this paper that you guys have been helping me to acquire over the past couple of decades and all this influence, I'm going to use this to uplift my own people and my own communities. Thanks, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, Solange, yes, Irita. And Solange is hella, hella, hella pro-Black. Um, So I think the backlash, by the way, that Beyonce has experienced beginning with the Super Bowl performance and Formation, and that is still continuing because there are some people who feel like she's, again, being pro-Black means she's anti-white and like anti-police and all this, which maybe, but I don't think that that's really an argument that's valid based on what she's actually presented. Um, the anger is this revelation that Beyonce doesn't belong to you. Beyonce is ours. And more to the point, Beyonce never was yours. So that's where I think that ire is coming from. It's that, wait, what the fuck? Beyonce's black and she likes it? She likes being black? How dare she? Yeah, yeah. It's like that breakdown with everybody mad in the homecoming performance. I've been getting too much money. Everybody mad because that is verbatim what's happening. Like now everybody's mad, meaning everyone who's not black. Um, and then, as if it wasn't clear enough that she was asserting herself as being for us and for our culture, there's the "Before I Let Go" challenge. Have you guys been seeing this? That song is so iconically black and so cleaved to black culture in a way that words can't even begin to describe. It's so inside baseball in terms of black American culture. There is not a single black person who has not been at a wedding, a family reunion, or whatever, and hasn't heard that song played, and like everyone like is on the like that's such a shared experience. So even that song selection, I mean, I know Beyonce doesn't make these choices in a vacuum, but she is ultimately the captain of the ship. So her and her team, the attention paid to every move she makes is just, it's actually slightly terrifying because of just how thought out everything is. It's really, really incredible. And then she's even been posting to Instagram stories people doing the "Before I Let Go" challenge, which I think is perhaps the first time she's ever even used that feature on Instagram, because Beyonce is notoriously terse. Like she barely even posts captions with her photos because her photos and things speak for themselves because she's fucking Beyonce. But as far as I know, but I'm not on IG like that. So maybe there have been other times, and stories expire after a day. So maybe she's posted in the past. I should say someone from her team. It's not like she's like in her own IG uploading all these people doing the "Before I Let Go" challenge. But I think it's really funny to even see what they post, because if you notice, there's tokenism happening where it's like black person, black group, black family, black group, white group, black group, black group, black group. It's sort of like that in Us, that moment. Actually, I shouldn't talk about it because that's a spoiler. So I won't say that. But there was a critique of a certain marginalized group in that movie getting killed off quickly. And I feel like this is like similar to reversing that expectation, because usually the tokens are us. So even in posting people doing the "Before I Let Go" challenge, the tokens are the people who aren't black, which I think is dope. And by the way, YouTube unsubscribed me from Beyonce. I'm flabbergasted because I didn't realize how many videos I missed, and then something came up in my suggested tab, not in my like subscriptions feed, and I was just like, how did I not see this? This is Beyonce's channel. They unsubscribed me because I know for a fact there is no way that I unsubscribe myself. So the whole thing about YouTube unsubscribing people from accounts randomly, racist ass YouTube. Unsubscribe me from Beyonce. Y'all thought I wouldn't notice? Yeah, Monty J. Lift every voice and sing. Doesn't get any like it doesn't get any blacker. Yeah, solely Steph. When I saw like at the top of the feed, where all the people who have posted to source, when I saw Beyonce, I was just like, is this a glitch? Like I thought it was a mistake. Asia from Brooklyn, what is the white equivalent to "Before I Let Go"? Good God. I don't know. Living on a prayer. If I had a nickel for every time I was in a bar full of drunk white people screaming living on a prayer with the jukebox, I would have a couple of bucks. Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah, JJ, someone will yell reverse tokenism. See, I made sure not to say reverse tokenism because to me, it's like when someone cries about reverse racism, which is racist. Like to even add that qualifier of reverse up front is racist because the implication is that racist is therefore only applicable to Black people. And that, and that if it's happening to a white person, it's like upside down racism. That's racist. The chicken dance. Kit, you're wrong for that. India Prother music, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. The Macarena. Oh, shit. Sweet Caroline. Don't stop believing. These are good. These are good. Violet Vickers, no one in whose camp told her it was a bad idea. Beyonce, you mean Beyonce posting the Before I Let Go challenge? What do you mean? Alexis, that part, that part. The fact that we have this many, and I feel like most of Beyonce's white audience is like, what's the deal with this Before I Let Go challenge? Like, what is this? You know what I mean? But any Black person will instantly be like, oh shit, she remixed Before I Let Go, you know? I feel like that is so brilliant and calculated and effective in saying shit without saying shit. Isabel, you got blocked on Gage Girl's Instagram? I haven't looked at anything Gage Girl in oh so long. She tried to imply that Beyonce was pushing her beychella diet to people. No, she didn't. She specifically said, I would never do this again. I don't think you can be any more clear about saying, I do not recommend this. That's why actually I don't like to be associated with the Beehive, despite the fact that I'm a pretty big fan of Beyonce, is people will ignore that part and be like, oh, Beyonce did this, so I'm going to do it. Beyonce did this to get skinny, and even though she said it wasn't healthy, I didn't hear that part, so I'm going to do this really reckless shit now. Like, what Beyonce did or shared, I should say, in that Homecoming documentary wasn't even all that explicit. The things that she eliminated from her diet it sounded a lot like Whole30 almost, but I think we saw her like eating an apple, and then people then extrapolated that into being like, okay, so all she did was eat apples. Tight. I'm going to do that now. Like, that is not, we don't even have that information. So I think people, unless maybe there was an article where more information was given elsewhere, but just based on the documentary, which is all I watched, because as y'all know, I am just not plugged into pop culture and pop culture news like that because I cannot be bothered. But yeah, Beyonce didn't tell anybody. Oh God. Yeah, Asia. It is a mashup with Candy by Cameo. One of my friends in the gym was playing the original Candy by Cameo at the gym yesterday because I think we had just listened to Before I Let Go. We were all like dipping it and doing it at the gym. It was really funny. Gage Girl, Eagles lover, don't even worry about it. Irrelevant. Yeah. Isabel, she was crying that she was hungry. Yeah. She was miserable. I mean, she was getting ready for, I would say, the biggest performance of her life. Like, even though her tours are legendary and they're huge, as someone who's been to her tours more than one and who has also seen this homecoming documentary, this is bigger than those tours. Like, it was a big deal. It was an opportunity for her to make this statement that she has now made. So, it was I'm going to do what I have to do. This is but a fraction of my life, but this isn't something that any regular person should do or needs to do. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Alexis. From what she was describing, most of the things she cut out, it sounds like veganism, and also no breads and like traditional carbs, and carbs just from like vegetables and fruit, which of course you're going to be hungry, by the way. That I would be famished all the time. Malcolm Xavier, I am a casual Wendy watcher. I don't have channels, but I will watch Wendy's Hot Topics like on YouTube because they upload those. And I used to really enjoy Wendy's show, just a couple years ago when I still had channels, I would record it on my DVR and then watch it in evenings after work and stuff. Obviously, Wendy's got her own drama. I thought about doing a live to talk to you guys about that, but I wasn't sure if anyone even cares about Wendy Williams, because I feel like she is more geared towards somewhat of an older audience. And I think most of you guys are like, according to my stats anyway, like more like 25, 34-ish, my age range. Ooh, Isabel. See, it would have been tight if Beychella was at Essence Fest, but I think the cultural importance is higher because it was at Coachella. And it just goes back to playing that game of using her privilege and her proximity to whiteness and white culture to subvert it, essentially, and let more Black people in. So I think that was strategic to do it at a venue like Coachella, because she could have easily been headlining Essence Fest, but it was also an historic moment. The fact that, and this is pathetic that this happened last year, 2018 was the first time a Black woman headlined Coachella. The fuck? Ayo, Wendy's drama right now is some hot ass tea, girl. Kit, you are young at heart. Well, JJ, I mean, my hot take on the whole Wendy Williams situation is I don't know a whole lot about like radio Wendy. I was sort of peripherally aware of her name because I am from New York and she was on the radio in New York. I think she's just a little bit too before my time in that respect. So I didn't really know about her until her TV show, to be perfectly honest. Like I wasn't familiar with her. I wasn't familiar with her, like, how you doing? And all that. And like she, from what I can understand now, because she's having her own drama, and what a lot of people are saying is that everything she's going through is like karma, it's payback for her, being a gossiper and all that. But I'm like, that was her line of work. I mean, there's there's lots of things that people can do for work. You don't have to profit off of other people's suffering, and supposedly even like outing gay people. I've heard that she's done when they weren't ready to come out, and that is truly fucked up. But I don't know that Wendy, so like I don't have strong feelings about that because I'm not well versed enough in like what she did or did not do. I know a little bit about her like feud with Whitney Houston and like just like little things I've heard here and there. So as far as her own drama playing out, I feel like that's just life. Everyone has struggles, everyone deals with relationship issues. Some people deal with substance abuse. And when you're in the public eye, whether you've talked shit about other people in the public eye or not, if you yourself are in the public eye, you're going to be talked about. Um, I root for Wendy. at the end of the day. I do want her to be healthy and to succeed because I enjoy her content. You know, I like watching her at Hot Topics. I feel like she's very unique. I feel like I, in a way, kind of relate to her because I feel like what you see is what you get with Wendy. And that is not typically the case with people in her kind of position. And even though I'm not pursuing like an in front of the camera career, I do this, you know, I do this YouTube channel. And what you see is what you get. If you meet me, it is the same experience as watching my videos. You know what I mean? My friends who know about my YouTube channel, because I definitely don't talk about it, but sometimes it comes up here and there and they're like, yeah, you know, whenever I watch your videos, I feel like I'm just hanging out with you. And that just creeps me out because like, I don't like the idea of people in my real life watching my videos. Oh, there goes the dick line. And what was I saying? I don't like the idea of people I know in real life watching my videos, but it does make me feel good to know that my real life friends are like, oh no, like I legit feel like we're just hanging out whenever I put your videos on. Shot a moment. She's hella messy. Yeah, I don't wish heartache and addiction on anyone. And she does seem to be on the upswing. I don't know the nitty gritty of what's going on with her divorce. And it's been interesting how she hasn't really said much about any of it directly. Like she's been really subliminal, for lack of a better word. Like I remember the day she announced, she never even said, I'm getting a divorce or anything like that. The only like equivocal thing she said about what was happening was just like, so it's just going to be me and my son, or the only thing I care about is me and my son, something to that effect. And then when she got into Hot Topics, she was talking about some celebrity and her bodyguard, the celebrity's bodyguard was in the background of a still photo they had up on the screen. And she was just going on and on about how she was like perving out on the hot security guard in the background. She's like, look, I'm on the loose, you know, implying like I am free to do what I wish to do. And whatever I do is going to be whatever it is that I do. And I feel like that was about as direct she's been with any of this. And things are obviously still developing and unfolding. You know, divorces don't happen in a day. They happen over, especially one that's going to be as complicated as this, because her soon to be ex is her manager, I want to say. So he's completely enmeshed in her entire empire. So it's going to be a hot ass mess. Oh, one pimp afro. Thank you. Everyone, please take the time to like the video. You guys know I don't generally ask for likes unless I need to get an answer to a question. I kind of use it as a polling feature because I know a lot of people don't like to comment, but I don't really ask for likes and subscribers because I don't know. I feel like as a viewer, when someone does that, it doesn't affect me. If I'm going to like the video, I've already done it. And if I'm going to subscribe, that's up to me. It's not going to be because someone's just like, please subscribe. So I try not to bully people with that stuff, but I appreciate it. And those of you who leave me comments telling me how you shared my videos, it honestly makes me want to cry because, well, frankly, at any moment I'm on the verge of crying. I'm extremely emotional, but that really does mean the world to me because as you know, such a small channel, like every share actually matters. It really does. So to think that someone would do that for little old me. Impeccably Fit Tea. I think I'm going to start doing more live streams because they're fun. I did them during Vlogmas just to try it out. And I think that they're a good way for me to do more like, I want to dip my toe in more like hot topicsy kind of stuff and just have discussions with you guys because I don't know. That's what my whole channel is about. It's like talking about my thoughts and experiences as just a regular workaday person. And I want to hear what you guys think too. It's all about just sharing thoughts and experiences. Like that is what this is. My channel and my estimation and in my vision for what this is creating a community. And what we've created together so far is something I am very proud of. So I think it is time to start branching out, talking about more things as they happen, not necessarily just talking about like makeup and hair and stuff or even fitness, but talking about things that affect our lives day to day. Oh my gosh, we just hit an hour, you guys. Oh, Ayo, you guys are my friends in my head too. For real, for real. Kid. So I guess I am on Facebook then. Even if I'm not on Facebook, I'm on Facebook thanks to you. Yeah, I'm at. I don't think I said anything too scandalous today. I mean, I probably said some things that were slightly scandalous, but nothing where I'm. Whenever I private a video, it's not because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I stand by anything I say. It's mostly because I don't want to have to waste my time blocking trolls later. Like, that's legitimately it. I don't have the patience for that shit, and I'd rather not have to worry about it. Abby Bankson. That reminds me. Okay, so thank you, Mariella. That reminds me. For those of you who don't know, I did do an impromptu live stream yesterday. I was coming home from a pool party, so I was quite turned up. But I came home to find out about yet another lily white YouTuber getting exposed, saying nigger on camera, as well as being offensive toward a Latinx individual who she assumed was Mexican. I'm sure she didn't know one way or the other. And I just wanted to talk about that. I did. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make that. I'll take it up private and I'll put it up as unlisted for a couple hours. Right now it's 5 p.m. Pacific on a Sunday night. The live stream was quite long because we had a lot to say, not just me, but you guys too. So I'll leave that up for a couple hours in case anyone missed the beginning of this, wants to catch up, and also wants to watch that. So once I log off, I'll add it to this description box, the link to the unlisted video, and I will leave that up till maybe midnight tonight, midnight Pacific. So that'll give you guys like 7 hours. I think that's plenty of time. So yeah, if you missed it, you will have a second chance. It's not like that crazy. It's just me kind of ranting about racism. Fun times. And yeah, that'll do it. So thank you everybody who tuned in and hung out with me for this live stream. I don't think this one's going to go anywhere. If you were watching this live stream days later, unfortunately you missed the grace period on missing drunk tea, spilling tea yesterday, because I will be reprivating yesterday's live stream after midnight. Today is Cinco de Mayo. It is 5:02 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, thanks you guys. I love y'all, and I will see you in my next video. And next time something crazy happens, maybe I'll just pop on live again. We'll see, because I did kind of like the spontaneity of it. So it may not be days in advance that you guys will get. So if you actually care about that kind of thing, I can't believe I'm about to say this because I'm so against pressuring people, but you might want to ring the notification bell. That is so against everything I believe in, even saying that. But for real, if you actually do care about me possibly coming on to do an impromptu rant that I will probably have to private, the only way to know about them would probably be to get a notification. All right. Anyway, bye guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays and have a wonderful week.